And I can't wear perfume because he says he's allergic, so I have to make sure to buy fragrance-free everything, hand lotion, detergent, everything. If there's soap left in the glasses, he could get sick. If I feed him leftovers, he could get food poisoning. Of course, if I've done something bad, I have to sleep on a pallet on the floor for punishment. If I'm lucky, I get to sleep in my son's bed. He sleeps with his father. My son is the chosen one, not me. It's my job to set the alarm. If I mess that up, there's hell to pay. It's my fault he's late. I do want to iron his shirts, but I don't want it to be like last week when the collar was too stiff and the sleeves weren't straight and the third buttonhole from the top was more wrinkled than the rest. If my son gets hurt in the park, I can't tell his father. He might go ballistic. He might punish me. If my son gets hurt, does that mean I'm a bad mother? If I'm crazy, will it rub off on my child? I'm in the bathroom shaking and crying. I can hear my 4-year-old son crying alone in his room. His father's in the big bedroom. I'm washing my face like he told me to. I hear him calling me. Come in here right now and bring Matthew with you. Okay, just a minute. We've been fighting, which means he's been lecturing me. I told him I would make a deposit in the bank today, but I ran out of time and I didn't get to do it. So that makes me a liar. I lied to him. That shows lack of respect, lack of consideration. It's unacceptable. You need to be punished. My son and I walk through the French doors into the big bedroom. His father's standing next to the computer, sliding his belt out of his pant loops. Matthew, stand over here, he says in his quiet, I am the same person here voice. My face is still puffy from the slaps earlier and I can't stop crying. Susan, pull down your pants and your underwear and lean over the bed. He's still talking like a sane person. I protest. Matthew shouldn't be in here. Let him go back to his room. No. He needs to see what you get for lying. I do what he tells me. I lean over the bed, my body tense, waiting for the blow of the belt. I've never been hit like this before, and I'm horrified that he's doing it in front of... Ah! 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 It's over for now. But my legs are burning and there are big red welts on my ass. There was this dream of what it could be. There was this hope I held in my heart. There was this dream of my perfect love. There was this dream. There was this dream. She's one of my oldest friends. She's one of my closest friends. We know each other from the Chicago days. Met in an acting class with Rolf Brandis. She's smart, funny. I used to babysit for her 2 kids when she split up with Bill. I love Andy. And today is her birthday, December 13th. So I've decided that I'm going to call and tell her happy birthday. I'm not sure why exactly I've decided to call. I think I miss my girlfriends. He says they're all bitches and bimbos. Hello, Andy. How are you? Happy birthday. What do you want for your birthday? What? Well, what do you mean, do I have a plan? Well, things are not so bad right now, so I'm hoping that they'll get better by Christmas. No, I can't involve the police. That would just make him madder. And besides, I think that would scare Matthew, too. I mean, we don't really have any place to go, no family close by. Shelters? Yeah, but those are horrible places, filthy and in bad neighborhoods. No, I haven't filed any police reports, I told you that. Well, the neighbors made some complaints, but I never did press charges. Huh? Really? That's what you want? For your birthday? Oh, well, okay, I guess I could make some calls while he's at work and find out what my choices are about a place to stay. Is that what you mean you want me to do? Okay, I'll call the hotline and ask them. Yes, I promise. I'll do it for you, for your birthday present. Andy, thank you, you're a good friend. And happy birthday. She can't make a decision. She calls the hotline, and when they answer, she asks, what should I do first? She listens carefully to what they say, but she has trouble remembering, so she has to ask them to repeat it again. She can't stop crying, because it was this dream. She feels like she'll never stop crying, because there was this dream. She hasn't taken a shower for 2 days. She can't make a decision. The woman on the hotline tells her that it's important that she establish a paper trail. Has she filed a police report yet? She says it's important to have a record of previous events so that if she needs to get into a shelter, there will be a paper trail. The hotline lady says that with a paper trail, it would be easier to get into a shelter even on short notice. What about a shelter? There are several they could recommend. She doesn't know if that's okay or not. Shelter sounds so scary, so demeaning, so desperate. She's sure she'll never have to resort to that. Hello, Betsy? Did you beat me? Yeah, I'm at a payphone in the corner of 181st and Fort Washington. Well, I was on the way to the bank to get some cash. Well, he says I'm crazy, and I think I am going crazy. No, really, I think I need professional help, so I'm going to go check into Columbia Presbyterian. Well, no, he took my keys, so I can't get back to the apartment unless he lets me in, and which he won't. Matthew's sleeping. No, he says I have to take responsibility for my own craziness and check into the psych unit. So that's where I'm going. But I have to. He says it's because I'm a liar and a coward and I need to make some changes. But I feel like I'm going crazy. You know, tonight was not so bad. He threw a shoe at me, and that wasn't so bad, except that when I went to walk the dog, then he took my keys, so now he's kicked me out. I'm supposed to call him when I get there. You don't? I'm not? I just feel like I can't make a decision. Should I call the police? You think so? Yeah, but what if he just gets angrier? Well, yeah, I could wait right here on this corner. What bus would you take? Okay, all right, okay, I'll wait for you. No, you're right. I'll probably talk myself out of it if I try to go alone. You'd come all the way uptown? Do you think I'm crazy? I'm not crazy, am I? Can we go to the precinct office? Will you go with me? I don't know. I can't. No, I don't know if I should have him arrested or not. What if he finds out? Okay. Right. Well, last weekend he made me drink the dirty water from the mop bucket, but I think he's just trying to push me over the edge. God, I'm so glad you beat me. It took Betsy 45 minutes to get uptown, and then we walked over to the 34th precinct. There I talked to the detectives, and they got the details of what had been happening in my life for the past year. After my conversation with Andy, I had secretly filed a police report, so there was a paper trail. There were also complaints from the neighbors on file. And strangely enough, thanks to O.J. Simpson, the police at that time were under mandates from their superiors to follow up on every single domestic violence complaint in order to avoid a similar situation of serious injury or perhaps even murder. So they didn't want to be caught napping. Still, it took me 2 hours to finally decide to have him arrested. The officers took us back to the apartment, and Betsy stayed out of sight for her own protection. The officer knocked on the door. Police officers, please open up. Mr. Williams, we have your wife with us. May we come in? Of course, please. Welcome to my home. Mr. Williams, I'm Officer Rodriguez. This is Officer Stone. We'd like to ask you a few questions. Officer Rodriguez, how are you? How do you do? You live in the area, huh? Great neighborhood, isn't it? I mean, we moved up here 2 years ago, and we think it's just great. Don't you agree? Yeah, Mr. Williams, oh, please, officer, call me Todd. Okay, Todd, we have a statement from your wife saying that you subjected her to physical violence, verbal and emotional abuse, and humiliation, almost always in the presence of the child Matthew. She says that you slapped her in the face and that you slammed her head face first into a stovetop burner. Is that true? No way, officer. I would never hit my wife. Okay, well, she also says that you threw a desk fan at her and hit her in the face and the ear. Well, not true. Now, I did throw a fan at her, but I missed. Okay, she says here that you kicked her in the leg and then that you slammed her head against a door jamb. No, I don't ever remember doing that, officer. Well, she says here, too, that you made her drink from a glass of water that had been wrung from a dirty sponge mop. No, it's just silly. Of course not. She says that last week you cornered her in the kitchen and that you slammed an apple into her mouth and then you smacked it further into her mouth. Then you put a 10-inch butcher knife sideways into her mouth, then you hit the knife into her mouth and told her to stand there until you told her to move. Oh my God, officer. Oh, I would never do anything like that. Does that sound like something I would do? Well, Mr. Williams, Todd, we have a sworn statement from your wife here, and we have several complaints that were filed with the police prior to tonight's complaint that you threw a shoe at your wife's head and then hit her in the back of the head with another shoe. So we have neighbors complaining also that they've heard loud yelling and threats of violence. But officer, she lied to me repeatedly. I mean, surely this is something that can be handled between my wife and myself, don't you think? Sir, no matter what you say, we're going to have to take you to the station and arrest you, so please turn around and put your hands behind your back. The Temporary Order of Protection of the Criminal Court of New York, docket number 95N055414, orders the accused to stay away from the plaintiff and the minor child Matthew. Accused has a history of alcohol abuse, consuming approximately 3 liters of scotch or vodka each week. While under the influence of alcohol, he is especially abusive and violent. The child Matthew has frequently witnessed accused excessive drinking and the unacceptable and violent behavior attending such alcohol abuse. Accused has called plaintiff the following names in the presence of the child Matthew: liar, stupid, cunt, bitch, coward, stupid, selfish bitch, habitual long-term pathological liar, insane, servant, lazy, selfish bitch, bad mother. As a result of conversations with several mothers of Matthew's playmates, plaintiff concluded that her son has repeated his father's words, saying, "My mother is a liar, my mother is stupid." Accused uses a knife with a 3-inch blade at work and also for knife throwing, a skill he has perfected and takes pride in. On numerous occasions, accused has pointed the knife at the plaintiff and said, in effect, "You know, I can strike you in the throat with this knife," and has then thrown the knife at an object near the plaintiff. The child has heard his father threaten his mother with the knife and has also witnessed the father throw the knife near the mother. The hard part wasn't over yet, but I had made a change before it was too late. The frog had jumped out of the pot. Okay, ladies, welcome. Welcome to Sanctuary for Families. I'm Judy Falcone. I'm going to be your facilitator for tonight. I'm here most every Thursday evening meeting, so I urge everybody to come in, make yourselves comfortable. We do have a few rules of conduct here. If you want to talk, you raise your hand, and I will call on you. No crosstalk, okay? Everybody understand? Yeah? Okay, good. All right. Now, since we have a lot of new faces here tonight, what I'd like to do is go around the room and have each person introduce themselves and just tell us a little bit briefly about why you're here. Okay? All right. Carmen, let's start with you.
I'm Carmen Alvarez. Mi esposo and me have been separated 2 semanas, 2 weeks ago. And mis niños, my children and I are living with my cousin in her house school. She lives in Queens. But mi esposo is calling every day to say he's so sorry for what he has done. And he wants to get back, but we cannot stay together because he's hitting me too much in front of los niños. Thank you. Okay, all right, good. Jackie?
Hi, I'm Jackie Johnson. My boyfriend is abusing me mentally and emotionally.
We've been together for 3 years, but lately he seems to be getting a lot worse. I've tried to leave him, but I keep coming back. He says that nobody will ever want me the way that he does. And I think that he really loves me because he says he can't live without me, and he just goes crazy when I'm away too long. In fact, he tried to commit suicide twice when I left him. But now I'm having trouble at work because my boss says I have too many sick days and too many personal calls. So my boyfriend wants me to spend some more time with him and stop spending so much time with my friends. Okay, Tanisha, you're next. Tanisha. Fuck you. Okay, Tanisha, whatever. Okay. All right, Susan. Hi, I'm Susan, and this is my first time here. I had my husband arrested 2 weeks ago, and I'm trying to get an order of protection for myself and my 5-year-old son. He's with me here tonight, but he really didn't want to come. It's been very, very hard on him with all these changes, and we're staying with friends for right now. Okay, very good. All right, tonight's topic is the warning signs of an abusive relationship. Now, you should all have a copy, okay? Let's start with the definition. Domestic abuse is when one person in an intimate relationship or marriage tries to dominate and control the other person. But the abuser's not going to play fair. No. He's going to use fear, he's going to use guilt, he's going to use shame and intimidation to wear you down and gain complete power over you. Now, he may threaten you, he may hurt you, he may hurt those around you. If he does hurt you, this is called domestic violence. So maybe you think you're okay for right now, because maybe it's just words he's flinging at you. But you got to be careful, because you see those threats and that verbal and emotional abuse, that can escalate into physical violence, perhaps murder. It can be serious. I mean, physical injury is obvious. You know, you see a cut lip or a bruise on your eye or your arm or something like that. You got a bloody nose. That's obvious, but you got to realize that the emotional and psychological consequences are also very severe. No one deserves that kind of pain. Your first step to breaking free is recognizing that your situation is abusive. So, there are many signs of an abusive relationship. We call them red flags. All right, I want you to ask this question. Do you feel afraid of your partner most of the time? Do you avoid certain topics because you're afraid of making him angry? You feel you can't do anything right for him? Do you believe that you deserve to be hurt or mistreated? Do you wonder if you're the one who's crazy, like Susan? All right, does your partner humiliate you? Does he criticize you? Does he yell at you? Does he treat you so badly that you're embarrassed to be in front of friends and family? Does he ignore you, put down your accomplishments, and put down your opinions? Does he blame you for his own abusive behavior? Does he have a bad, unpredictable temper? Does he threaten to hurt you or kill you? Does he threaten to hurt your children? Does he force you to have sex? Does he threaten to commit suicide if you leave, like Jackie? Does he act excessively jealous and possessive? Does he keep you from seeing your friends and your family? Does he limit your access to money, phone, car? Does he constantly check up on you? Ladies, the more yes answers that you have to these questions, the more likely it is you are in an abusive relationship. It's been 10 years, more than 10 years since I was in that support group. And still, when I tell my story to people, they almost always ask me, "What was wrong with you? Why did you stay?"